speak or erase your name. I'll just get us started by presenting a brief summary of the project. And I'll also put in the chat a link to, hopefully many of you will have already seen this, a short version of our proposal for your reference. What we're trying to do with this department proposal is to build a humanities and social science focused research and pedagogy that can contribute towards solutions to challenges of environmental sustainability and health equity. And we want to recognize and respond to the urgency of these issues for UCR, for our region, and beyond. We're building on well-established interdisciplinary academic fields and subfields dedicated to environmental studies and health disparities, where we think we're innovative, joining a small group of programs across the country and around the world, is to join these two areas of study. So addressing the intersection of environment, sustainability, and health. There are hundreds of humanities and social sciences environmental studies departments and public health or health humanities departments, and only a few programs like ours that really intentionally combine these two and think about the intersections between them. And this makes sense. I don't think any of us need to tell you that this makes sense for us as a university, for our region, and is likely the impacts of this intersection are likely to only amplify in the future. Just as an index of this, the Department of Health and Human Services just a few months ago established an Office of Climate and Health Equity, one of whose missions is to encourage training and education. So our department proposal is for an undergraduate major of environmental and sustainability studies, an undergraduate major of health equity studies. And we're centering both of these, all of our curricula, on community-based research. What we really want to do is to prepare students with a kind of toolkit, a humanities and social sciences toolkit to do work in areas of health, in the health professions, in sustainability related professions, with this broad training and awareness of the cultural, social, economic, and other dynamics that, that inform the relationships between humans and their environment, and the dynamic around human health and harms to health. We know that practitioners with this kind of broad training in analyzing, communicating, and building coalitions around health and sustainability are urgently needed in this region. And our approach is grounded in the values of social justice, health justice, and environmental justice. So that's a sort of overview of our kind of motivating principles and values. And again, I would encourage you to have a look at the more details in the summary proposal that's linked in the chat. I'll now turn it over to Bronwyn Liba to introduce herself and our other members of the department, people working on it, and community partners.
Hi, everybody. Welcome. Thank you so much for coming. It's so good to see all of you here. My name is Bronwyn Liba. I am professor in political science, associate professor in political science, where I've been teaching courses in environmental justice and human rights for many years, as well as a course on environmental political thought. I also served as the chair of global studies for 5 years and developed a course there on a seminar for the global studies students in climate change, which brought in guest speakers. So I have a strong, and I've known a lot of you through the interdisciplinary connections of global studies. And I'm really happy to see so many of you here today. I also do research on environmental legacies of war and environmental war crimes. And I just couldn't be more excited about this proposal. So I'm just going to get on with it and introduce some of my colleagues who have worked on it, and I think done a really good job, a really incredible job. I'm going to start with Chikako.
Hi, my name is Chikako Takeshita, and I'm an associate professor in gender and sexuality studies. I am one of the founding members of the sustainability studies major, which started with 12 in 2015, and now we've been enrolling consistently about 100 majors. What I'm most excited about this project is that we will be relocating and expanding the sustainability studies major so that the study will be broader and deeper and accessible to more students. My own work has to do with environmental justice issues in Fukushima after the nuclear reactor accident. And yes, that's the book that I'm working on. Thank you.
Thank you. Awesome. Next we have Jade.
Hi, everyone. Good afternoon. My name is Jade Sasser. I'm an associate professor of gender and sexuality studies. Like Chikako, I am a founding member of the sustainability studies major, and we have been very successful in growing that major over the past several years since 2015. And it is in part due to the demand coming from students in that major that we have really been excited and motivated to create this department. My research focuses directly at the intersections of climate change and women's health. So my first book project looked at climate change and reproductive health. My current book project is focused on youth, social justice, and mental health around climate change issues. And I'm very excited about this initiative and excited that you're all here today. So thank you for joining us.
Thank you. And just heads up, you can find a really amazing review of Jade's book in the New York Review of Books, and a write-up on one of her recent articles in Black Voice. Next, we have Julianne.
Hello, so I'm Julianne Emmons Allison, and I am, along with Chikako and Jade, faculty in the Department of Gender and Sexuality Studies, and one of the 4 founding members of the Sustainability Studies program. And as my colleagues have already indicated, that program has kind of outgrown its home, both in terms of student demand and in the kinds of courses that we'd like to offer and the sorts of jobs that we'd like to prepare our students to take after graduating. And in terms of my own research, it spans kind of a lot of things. I've been at UCR a long time and I feel like I'm finishing a lot of projects. So I recently completed a book with another one of our group here, Ellen Reese, on warehousing, the impacts of warehousing in inland Southern California, where I focused on the environmental impacts. And finished another book on energy politics and policy with a colleague at Colorado School of Mines. So both of those are sort of coming out, and I'm working now on, a couple of projects, one on ecological grief, and the other one's sort of related to self-governance of recreational users of public lands. So I'm working with rock climbers and trail runners, and kind of how they organize themselves to protect the land. Thank you all for being here and joining us.
Thank you. I didn't even know about that second book you have coming out. Next, we have Kim.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Kimmy Dion, and I'm an associate professor in the political science department and also a co-convener of the Health and Equities Faculty Commons project at the Center for Ideas and Society, together with my colleagues Jennifer Syvertson and Tanya Nieri. I'm really grateful for this opportunity to collectively imagine and build a new department in environment, sustainability, and health equity with these colleagues that are introducing themselves today, not least because my own research focuses on health and health disparities. In particular, a lot of my research looks at the politics of pandemics. So my first book was on HIV/AIDS in Africa, and my second project that I'm working on right now is about pandemic politics more broadly in Africa, looking, including some historical pandemics, and of course, the one we are all living through in this Zoom room right now. Thanks for being here.
Thank you. Next up, we have Michelle.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for being here. My name is Michelle Raheja. I'm an associate professor in the Department of English and former director of the Center for California Native Nations. I am also a tender of teenagers, a failed beekeeper, a plant lover, and a raiser of chickens, whose research areas include Indigenous feminist representations of cannibalism, environmental humanities, representations of early hominins in the arts, and thinking with more than human creatures, such as those in the Protista kingdom. So, thank you.
Wow. We have next up, Jen. Jennifer, sorry.
Oh, okay.
Jennifer,
I wasn't
sorry.
sure.
I just said Jennifer. I'm sorry. I don't know why. I didn't mean to take liberties.
That's okay. Welcome, everybody. My name is Jennifer Syvertson. I'm an associate professor in the Department of Anthropology. I'm a medical anthropologist and I'm trained in public health and epidemiology. So I am a huge believer in interdisciplinary and transdisciplinary approaches to studying health problems. Much of my work has focused on global health inequities around the HIV epidemic. And I have brand new local research around opioid overdose. So welcome, everybody. I'm super excited that everybody is here today.
Thank you. Next, we have Kathy.
Hi, everyone. My name is Kathy Gudis. I'm a public and environmental humanities scholar and an associate professor of history, where I also direct a public history program. So my interest in this new department are manifold. It's partly to engage communities in the IE and in Los Angeles to document and educate around past inequities, particularly related to the histories of racialized landscapes. And I'm interested in that as a means to connect with and to mobilize for change so that we can connect past and present to do so. My book projects include one that's in process on Skid Row, another that's around using the humanities to address issues of the power dynamics around planning, using the arts to do that around LA and the IE. So I look forward to this continuing conversation. Thank you.
Thank you. And I think we're last but not least is Ellen Reese.
Hi, everyone. My name is Ellen Reese. I'm a professor of sociology and also chair of the labor studies program here at UC Riverside. And my own research lately has been focusing a lot on the warehousing industry in the region, also the regional economy more broadly, and labor and community organizing related to that. And I'm really excited by this initiative and by the potential opportunities it would create to collaborate more through ESHE in both my research as well as my teaching. And I'm also very excited, to collaborate particularly around issues documenting the need for and efforts to build for a more healthy and environmentally sustainable regional economy. We really need that. And also training more students in growing fields, right? Some of the fastest growing occupations in our state are in the industries of health and also in environment as well. So for all those reasons, I'm really excited to be part of this initiative and happy to see so many people here today.
Thank you so much. I think that is we have other faculty members who are present who are involved, but I think that covers the people who are here as the part of the panel. And next up, it is my honor to welcome community partners who are going to discuss a bit about their relationship and their role in our community and their connection to our plant, our proposal. So Thank you so much for being here and for your work with us. I'm going to start with Rania Safi, who's joining us from the UDW.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Rania Safi. I am the lead union rep with UDW, which is the providers union. So we represent caregivers in Riverside County and throughout the state, but more specifically for myself, it's about 33,000 caregivers throughout the county of Riverside. So we're all the way to like Eastvale to Blythe, borderline Arizona. And so a little bit of background on myself, and I'll jump into a little bit more. I actually started off as an intern through UCR. I was actually in Dr. Ellen Reese's class through the Labor Studies Department and found UDW through there. And so I am grateful and honored to be able to join it in this aspect, and hoping to bring an internship into this department as well. Shall it come about? So UDW actually represents caregivers who are taking care of the disabled or elderly. So it would be awesome to kind of have our interns learn a little bit more about that, because I didn't know anything about it. I didn't know about the IHSS program until I found UDW through that internship, and it was just amazing. So upon completing my studies with UCR, I was offered a position with UDW. So I've been with UDW since about 2015, and I'm excited to continue forward. So thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for that. Next up, we have Mireya Denise Zaragoza from the Warehouse Workers Resource Center.
Hello, hi everyone. I'm Mireya Denise, and I'm with the Warehouse Worker Resource Center. I am their research and policy coordinator, and I would like to thank everyone for inviting us to speak today. We have been for a long time partners and collaborators with several UC Riverside faculty, staff, and as well as students on various projects that have been really focused on the warehousing industry in Southern California. But for some folks who might not know who the Warehouse Workers Resource Center is, we are a nonprofit located in Ontario, but we mostly serve communities in the Inland Empire, San Bernardino, Riverside counties, and a lot of our work is really dedicated to improving working conditions in the warehousing industry, as well as labor practices. And we do push for a lot of state and federal level policies to improve and have more protections for workers in the industry. We primarily serve non-unionized warehouse workers in the Inland Empire, as well as throughout Southern California. And we work with a lot of communities of color in the Inland Empire region, as I've mentioned. And these issues, the issues that we currently target are many, and they range from issues such as wage theft, health and safety violations, discrimination, sexual harassment, environmental justice, and other health injustices in the region. So we do have a broad range of what we do. We currently have several campaigns running in San Bernardino and Riverside County, and it's really targeted at getting to issues of pollution and the impact of having so many warehouses in the area and the truck traffic that's continuously impacting communities' health, since a lot of these warehouses are very close to communities' homes. And we know that from existing research, a lot of these folks that live in these communities are people low income, people of color. So there's definitely a lot of environmental racism that we're currently targeting. And we're also supporting and state level initiatives, such as I believe it was in 2020 with the Advanced Clean Truck Act that CARB passed. So we were very involved in that as well. And we definitely work on a lot of different topics that this department is currently trying to get at. And I really commend all the professors here who've really put forefront a lot of these issues that are impacting the Inland Empire region. So I'm really grateful that there's something like this in this way that's trying to get at these issues. And then I kind of bypassed a little bit about myself. So I am a former UCR student. I did get my BA in sociology, as well as my Master's of Public Policy at UC Riverside. So I've been pretty connected to the university, as well as to the Southern Inland Empire region. And what I really appreciate of this new department is that the community-based focus of the department is an opportunity for more intentional cross-collaboration between the department, nonprofits like us, as well as other stakeholders in the region, and of course, communities, right, to build and strengthen that trust, which is very important for a lot of the work that we carry out as nonprofits, as well as universities and the research that you all do. And in terms of cross-collaboration, how could that look like? I definitely do see a lot of student-led research projects and collaborations with nonprofits like us, as well as internship opportunities. I myself also interned with a nonprofit when I was completing my master's of public policy, and that was such a transformation for me and where I'm currently at right now in terms of my career. So definitely that's a great opportunity for students to develop and really become advocates for the community in areas of environmental justice and health equity. And then also we do partner with other universities like UC Berkeley, Cal State San Bernardino, and we do provide students hands-on experience, what it means to work in these impacted communities. And of course, a lot of our work is co-creating and developing tools that are helpful for the community, but also that are helpful for existing and future research, as well as policy, which is another major aspect of the work that we do. So yeah, we're really excited, and if we can continue this calibration with this department, it's definitely going to benefit our organizations as we continue our research and policy and advocacy work in the Inland Empire region. Thank you.
Wow, you're a master at packing a lot into a short amount of time. Impressive. Thank you so much. Next, we have Tamara Hedges from the UC Palm Desert Wild Coachella Conservation Center for Conservation Biology. Sorry for that bungled last part. Tamara. Let's see.
I saw her on earlier.
I thought it, okay. Tamara, are you here? Okay, well, we can come back. I'll come back. So we think we also have two of our stalwarts from the State Sustainability Office who've been providing leadership on these issues at the UCR campus for many years. I want to start with Fortino Morales from the Sustainability Office.
Hey, how's it going? Yeah, thanks for the invitation, and really excited to kind of see this all come together here. So I work at the Office of Sustainability, and what we do here is we kind of play two parts. I focus on the operational side, and I work with my colleague Matt Barth, who works on the academic and curriculum side. But as a campus and as a system, we've set up a goal of carbon neutrality by 2025, in addition to a lot of other policies that we work to implement in terms of how the campus operates. And so one of the things that we've noticed has been a conversation in the last year or two here is that it's really been focused on more renewable energy, more energy efficiency and kind of those technological solutions. But there's a huge gap in terms of anything to do with social policy or cultural aspects of sustainability. And so I think as sustainability offices across the system, it's something that we really recognize and hope to kind of work, with departments like yours on trying to implement that and bring that to the campus kind of operation side of things. And of course, in that process, we can, host a lot of internships, and we look forward to partnerships like that in the future. We do have currently the Carbon Neutrality Initiative Fellows, and right now we do have one that's kind of earmarked for an environmental justice student. And so we look forward to kind of working with you all on getting the word out about that in future years here. So I think with that, I'll pass it on pass it back.
Thank you so much, Fortino. And then you've already almost introduced Matt Barth, who is the faculty director of the Office of Sustainability. Take it away.
Hey guys, yeah, hopefully you can hear me. Great to be here and great to see this program moving forward. So as you mentioned, so I'm serving as the faculty director of sustainability. I'm a professor in electrical and computer engineering and also director of CSERT, our Center for Environmental Research and Technology. So, one of the key things, as Fortino mentioned, is that we're trying to advance our sustainability curriculum in general across our campus. I think a lot of people realize that sustainability has many elements and many disciplines that goes behind it. And we have a number of programs, including this new department that are really hitting on the key issues. And when we look at some of our accreditation when it comes to sustainability, we always tend to score pretty low on the curriculum side. And so what we're trying to do is encourage more of the sustainability, health, and equity type of not only courses, but the departments and the organization of even creating maybe a sustainability minor across many different colleges and schools here at UCR. And so we are working towards that goal. And I'd like to do a small little advertisement. We're having a sustainability retreat on April 22nd on the Botanical Gardens. And I'd like to invite everyone here to come to that, because half of that agenda is going to be discussing sustainability curriculum and how we can all make it all work and how we can make it all fit together. So again, we really like this effort. We want to support it. And we want to, as a whole, as a campus, get better organized when it comes to our sustainability curriculum. So with that, I'll happy to hand it back.
Thank you so much for all that and all the work as well. I think I saw Tamara come back. Are you here, Tamara? From UC Palm Desert Coachella Center? Okay, well, we will carry on. And I have an exciting announcement to make, which is that we are going to have some prize raffles. I want to turn it over to Michelle, who's going to explain how this is going to work.
Hey everybody, as a special thank you for coming, we have some door prizes. There'll be 3 of them. I will bring them to the Center for Ideas in Society the first week of classes, where you can pick them up. If you're a winner, send me a message in chat letting me know what your email is. If you live farther afield, I will mail it to you to make sure you get it. So the first prize is this bottle of syrup from the Seminole Nation of Oklahoma. It's made out of sorghum. It's amazing. And we have 3 chocolate bars from the Chickasaw Nation in Oklahoma, and then a mug that's by Indigenous collective called I Thrive, and it says we're all in this together, because we are. So I've made a ridiculous wheel that I will share with you, and hopefully everyone's name is on it. And I'm going to click, and if you're a winner, just send me a note in the chat, and hopefully this will work. Oh, yay, well, yeah, you're already here. Awesome, congratulations. And then we'll have a second one now, and then we will have our third one at the end. So the second prize is hopefully, let's see, I think I have to switch back here. You can see me from the First Americans Museum in Oklahoma City. And it's a bottle of really awesome olive oil from the Winton Nation in Northern California. And a super cool pair of socks made by Eric Tipiconic, who is Comanche. He teaches at Cal State San Marcos, and he is the first PhD in history who's a Comanche tribal member. So I will spin the wheel and then stick around to the end for even more awesome prizes. Okay. Okay, is Dave here?
Yes, I'm here.
Oh, congratulations, awesome.
Thank you.
Okay, perfect, so awesome, that's great. And I will hand it back over to Bronwyn.
Okay, I think that I will be turning the mic over to our next segment for Q&A. Go for it.
Great. So we understand that many of you who are joining us today might have questions about the proposed department or the proposed majors. And we just wanted to give you an opportunity to ask those questions. If you'd like, you can drop a question into the chat, or you can use the raise hand function. And then we can call on you to ask your question. And what our goal is to try to make sure we capture everyone's questions and do our best to answer them in the time that we have together. It might be, of course, that if your question is rather involved, we might follow up with you later with a more detailed answer. So with that, we want to turn it over to our audience. If you have questions for us or more you would like to know about what we are envisioning, what we're kind of dreaming up for the future of this department, please go ahead and raise your hand or put it in the chat. Great. Yvette, could you please go first?
Yeah, hi everyone. I'm super excited about this department and the collaborations with community, organizations, and members. I have a question. Do y'all have a plan in the future for allowing graduate students to be in the department or participate in the internships or maybe like lead a research project? And also, not trying to but Professor Gudis or Reese, but maybe in the future having a freight type of styled class on the freight system. But yeah, those are my questions.
Thank you for those. And Alejandra, could you please ask your question or questions?
My question was the exact same one about the graduate program and how exciting this all is.
Thanks for that. And I see that David Lowe also has a question in the chat that I'll go ahead and read aloud for everyone. Are the lead faculty in this proposal offering to leave their home department to form this new department? And is the program open to affiliate faculty from other schools and colleges? And then Tamara Covey asks in the chat, I was curious what the time frame for introducing the newer major and a sustainability minor might be. And then Allison Hedge-Koch asks, is the new department open to affiliate faculty from other schools and colleges? And as you can see, the very enthusiastic response from Dana Simmons to these questions from both David and Allison, we're absolutely open for affiliates from all schools and colleges. So let me try to go specifically to the question that was raised aloud about a graduate program from Yvette and Alejandra. Now, for some of you may already know, especially those of you who are members of UC Riverside's Academic Senate, right, faculty members, that beginning a graduate degree in the University of California system is actually quite involved and requires approval from the entire University of California system. So what we're proposing right now are undergraduate majors, and that's because that the decision to do that is specific to our campus. And so we can speak to our colleagues who are members of the Academic Senate and talk to them about the benefits that we see with the programs that the undergraduate programs that we're proposing. We also think that it would be prudent for us to, you know, kind of have some time together in a department and have the experience of working on this undergraduate curriculum together and kind of, you know, continuing to innovate and meet the needs of our students before we go through the process, the rather involved process of creating a graduate curriculum. We do, of course, have interests in that, but we're, you know, we understand we work at a university that has processes and procedures and that they take time, and that, you know, sometimes it's good to help pace us in that way. On the freight class, I'm going to have to leave that to Ellen and Kathy to answer. more specifically. But there is a part of David Lowe's question that was not answered in Dana's response, and this is about people leaving, people switching departments. So there are, there are procedures for people to, for faculty members who are interested in changing departments. But of course, those procedures involve conversations between one's home department and a potential new department. We also, I'm sure as many of you, especially those of you who are faculty members will know, we're also constrained by budgets, right? And so, obligations to our home departments to teach courses. And so for some of us, it's not going to be like a 100% transfer immediately upon the creation of a department. And some of us actually do not necessarily have plans to leave our departments. I, for one, am, very happy in political science. And my reason for participating in this activity to build this new department is because I see it as an important need for the campus. And I have my own interests in research and teaching in health and equities. And I think that this department would provide opportunities for me to do that, but perhaps as an affiliate. So getting to kind of your second question, David. Chicago, would you like to add?
I'm sorry, I couldn't find my mic button. As far as the lead faculty proposing offer to leave the home department, yes, the sustainability studies faculty will move all their lines to the new department to relocate the major. That's something that I could add.
Yeah, I just if you don't mind, I'll respond. And thanks Yvette for the question about the forms of graduate student leadership in research projects with community organizations, because I think that it's really important for us to continue models that we've already begun. We're not reinventing the wheel all the way, but we're really looking for more collaboration across campus and across the IE in particular. And so, for instance, I'll keep having graduate students in public humanities within the history department. And I really like the model that we've been really trying to develop, and that I hope we're beginning to do with you guys at PC for EJ, which is to have a grad student work with community partners, bring other grad students along with undergrads into that. And it's a way to also raise some funds to be able to pay those undergraduate interns when we can to do that work, so that they get both course credit and they're involved in research and practicum kind styled classes in which they can engage the projects that community organizations have going on. So I think it's really important for us to recognize that we have a lot in that we've been trying to develop, and this is a goal to further strengthen what we have been trying to develop. So thank you for the question, and we definitely will keep trying to develop these, even as we wait for the department to be approved and be put formally in place.
And I wonder if Ellen Reese, you had something to add on that.
Yeah, I was just gonna point out, and Ann Channing is with us, but might be able to tell us how folks can participate. But there's a structural competency conference happening, dealing with all sorts of issues around environmental health, and the warehousing industry and environmental justice struggles will be talked about. And in the session that I'm in at 10:10, and maybe there's other sessions too that kind of dovetail on that. So very immediately grad students can participate in that. And I think if this department were to be developed, there'd be wonderful TA opportunities, right, for graduate students to get involved in helping to teach. And so, as we mentioned we'd love to bring in community-based research into the teaching. And so that would involve grad students too through teaching assistantships. And we'd love to, work with you that way as well. But in the short run, there is this conference happening. So maybe Anne can let people know how to participate in that in the short run.
Anne, could you go ahead and share with us?
Yeah, definitely. So thank you, Ellen. So both Juliet, Dr. McMullen, and I are mentors to our medical students in the School of Medicine here around a structural competency conference. And now it's in its 4th year, and this year the focus is on environment. So I will share in the chat more information. It is open to the public. It is free. It is virtual. It is happening tomorrow and Sunday, and Ellen is one of our speakers. So please do join us. It brings together public health, the humanities, and social sciences, and clinical medicine, obviously, as well.
Great, thank you. And Kathy, did you have, okay, you just lowered your hand. Okay, so I see there's another question. Helen Reagan.
Hi there. So yeah, my name's Helen Regan. I'm a professor in the Evolution, Ecology and Organismal Biology department. I'm a conservation biologist and I teach courses in ecology and conservation biology and global change biology. In my field, we are really interested in the question of what sustainability is and how we can achieve it. And nature plays a very prominent, central focus. And so when we think about sustainability, we think about how to manage ecosystems and the flow of ecosystem services to people and also the environment, and also the interaction of governance and governance systems and stakeholders, and their role in the provisioning of ecosystem services and the management of ecosystems. And so one of the things that I see missing from all of the sustainability initiatives on this campus is a focus on nature. And I know that I'm very biased and I have a very particular perspective, but I don't see how we as a human species can achieve sustainability without having a prominent focus on nature. So I'm wondering where that fits in this sustainability initiative that and department. Thanks.
Great, thank you for that. I may call on my colleagues who are more focused on the environment sustainability side of what we're hoping to do in just a few minutes to see if they can provide some more insights on that. We do have some other questions that were raised in the chat that I would like to bring to folks' attention. So for example, Keith Miyake, I believe you asked a question. Oh, let me scroll up. Can you please discuss the feedback, pushback, support that's come out of CHAS or the Academic Senate in response, of course, to this proposal that we've written? Also, are there concrete things that people can do right now to further support the department? And I see that my colleague Dana may have responded to this question in the chat. I wonder if Dana, I could invite you to read what you wrote.
Sure. Yeah. I just observing that. I think we're all dealing with this. Many of us are dealing with this issue from various perspectives, which is the challenge of building collaborations and coalitions across schools and colleges in the context of the current budget environment that's enrollment based and that tends to pit schools and colleges against each other. And I just want to acknowledge that and acknowledge that those concerns are real. And we don't want to be naive about them. And we've been really great. We're really grateful to our partners in DCOE, in CNAS, who are helping us to think through how to get around some of those challenges, possibly to use masters, a 4+1 or 3+2 kind of arrangements to build, trajectories that can cross colleges. I think that's a fundamental challenge. The other response I think that we would give is that, as the undergraduate admissions Senate committee noted, this is the kind of major that is likely to attract new applicants. So what we'd like to suggest is that we can actually bring in students. It's not a zero-sum game. We can add to this, to both to the conversation and to the campus-wide resources around this issue. So we have no desire whatsoever to encroach on other programs that are doing really, really, really important work. And in fact, one of the things that motivates my participation in this project is to be able to support work like those of environmental science colleagues like Francesca Hopkins or Sam Ying, who are up there, doing community-based environmental science work, and to be able to partner from a humanities standpoint, a social science standpoint, and support that kind of research. So that's a major challenge. As far as thank you for asking how to support. I think talking to folks that you know, especially across schools and colleges, is extremely helpful to us right now. And then just keeping an eye out at once we do clear the rounds of Senate review, we will count on every single one of you who's convinced by our conversation today to come out to that divisional meeting and show your support. Thanks.
Great, thank you for that. And I see my colleague Julianne may have a response to the earlier question.
I was actually just about to follow on Dana's comment in the chat, and she's covered some of what I was going to add. But in terms of concrete things, just about every college and many departments on campus are in a position to write letters of support for us. And so whatever unit a faculty member is in, they can contribute to that process and maybe share some of the things they're learning here to sort of, I guess, get around some of the concerns about budgets and overlap and some of these things. So that would be really important. We will also ultimately need a vote. So we will need people to turn out bodies at the divisional meeting when this proposal finally goes for a vote. And so that's certainly a place where we can use faculty to rally the troops and bring them in. So in terms of concrete things, thank you.
Great, thanks for that, Julianne. I realized that that in going through all of this, we didn't get to answer directly Tamara Covey's question about her curiosity about the time frame for introducing the newer major and a sustainability minor when would that happen? So as we understand it, the way this process works is that we've made a proposal and then to the faculty senate, and then we've received comments, and then we've done a revision and we've received some more comments, and we are doing yet another response and revision, and we'll submit that. And then there will be a date set for when the faculty senate will vote yes or no on the proposed new department that will involve these two majors. And there would be time for that curriculum to be approved as well. So, I don't think that these new majors would start in the fall. I think it would probably be the fall, all things going well, it would be the following fall. But of course, I do want to point out that there already is a major on campus in sustainability studies. We have, colleagues here who were, part of building that major. So there are opportunities, at least in right now in sustainability, both as a major and, correct me if I'm wrong, as a minor as well. So no, not a minor, just the major. Okay, so So that, I mean, that's a really good reason to help support this cause so that we can make sure that that's available to more students, given the strong interest, especially if you look at the growth of the number of students who want to major in sustainability. You know, I think it's one of the reasons why I'm really excited about this. Okay, gosh, 7 new messages in the chat. I have to scroll. Let's see, I would like to read. Okay, Michelle's responding to people in the chat. Oh, so Helen, I believe there are some, Helen Regan, I believe there are some responses to your question in the chat from both Michelle and Chikako. I wonder if Michelle and Chikako, you would like to, either of you would like to verbalize some of those, some of your response, just for the sake of folks who are not here and who are watching the recording later.
Chikako, you wrote first. You want to respond?
Okay, here. So Helen, in our courses or in my class, I get try to get the students to think about what nature means to different stakeholders, such as scientists, environmentalists, indigenous people. What does it mean in the view of ecofeminism and things like that? And what I would love to do is to try to bridge the scientific work with humanities and social sciences. And so I would love to have more conversation with you about how we might be able to do that. So yes, I'm always thinking about how we could do that. And yeah, so Michelle? Oh, Helen, did you want to respond?
Oh yeah, no, that sounds great. And you know, I've seen a few responses in the chat to everyone, and then also to me privately. You know, I really welcome and would embrace the opportunity to talk more about it, and to, you know, to see how we can use like the principles of conservation biology that are, you know, guided and directed by laws like Endangered Species Act, but are also trying to be mindful of the role or the interactions of people, and not just nature as a broad concept, but the way ecologists study it.
Mm-hmm.
So I think there's a lot of scope on this campus to do that. And yeah, and so I would welcome it, not just in Chaz, but also in my own college.
Thank you for that. I do want to be mindful of time. We're at 3:57, which means we just have 3 minutes left in this wonderful hour we've shared together. I did want to raise a couple of questions that came up in the chat. So Cindy Pace is a Sustainability Studies and Political Science double major here, and noticed in the proposal that the ESHE majors will be offered as a BA degree. But had some curiosity about what that means for current sustainability studies majors who are working toward a BS degree, and how the curriculum and coursework might change moving forward. So that's a great question, Cindy. We had originally envisioned both a BA and a BS, just as the current sustainability studies major is. And right now we have revised in response to some of the comments and feedback, because we're trying to make sure that our colleagues across the university are aware that we're hearing their feedback, and that we're trying to be mindful in moving forward with the department in a way that the broader faculty would be supportive of. But we register your concern, and as my colleague Dana responded to you in the chat, of course, that does not change your major. You'll still be able to complete your BS in Sustainability Studies as it was identified in the general catalog before you declared your major. So hope finals go well for you. We also have a question from Brianna Simmons in the chat. What are the principles guiding the practice of community-based research and partnership? Will the department create positions for community members, for example, for the People's Collective for Environmental Justice, to inform the pedagogical, relational, and applied priorities? Or is the department maintaining university hierarchies among an interdisciplinary curriculum and department makeup? I think this is a really important and critical question. And I think that we are a unique group of faculty collaborators in that a lot of us have done community engaged research and trying to think about, in particular, the history of power hierarchies between researchers and populations and communities that are the subject of research, and the extent to which they are active in co-creating and co-designing research projects, and not just research though, but also the kinds of community engaged courses that we are envisioning, or internships that we're envisioning for our students. And we, gosh, I could talk forever and I'm already rambling on, but I want to say, Brianna, I don't think that we have a definite, complete answer on that. I do want to recognize that we are talking about it, we are thinking about it, we agree that this is really important, and it's going to continue to be important for us. And we really would invite you and others who care about these kinds of questions to share with us your ideas and your suggestions so that we can bring them in as we continue to innovate and design the curriculum. I know we have one more door prize, and everyone enjoyed the wheel spinning from before, so I want to invite my colleague Michelle to give a prize so that you waited till the end. You deserve to have your chance at winning something awesome that Michelle has brought for you. Michelle, can I turn it to you?
Thank you, everybody, and thanks for sticking with us to the end. I know Tamara Hedges had to leave, but we're working with the Center for Conservation Biology at UC Palm Desert. She's the director there, as well as Wall Coachella. So hopefully we can hear more from her another time. So the last door prize is also from the First Americans Museum. And the first is, I don't know, you can show of hands, anyone who's ever had fry bread. It's the most delicious thing on earth. And the Osage now make packaged fry bread mix. So that's in here. You can make a lot of different things with it. And then we have to go with your fry bread, some honey made by Iowa beekeepers in Oklahoma. So that is the third and final door prize. And I am going to turn us back to the wheel. And Laura Lee, are you still here? Could you unmute?
I am, yes.
Oh, you are. Awesome. So everybody who won a prize, please send me your email so that I can make sure that we get everything to you. And I also just want to say, all of us who are part of the ESHE Faculty Collective would love to have lunch or coffee with you, either individually to talk more about how we can work together, or collectively. Ellen has a really great talk coming up tomorrow, I believe. No, yes. So yeah, it was really great to see you all here, and thank you.
Thank you all. Have a great weekend.
Thank you, everybody.
We'll be saving the chat so that we can answer questions later. So if you had a question and we didn't get to it, please drop it in the chat and we'll do our best to respond to it, perhaps at a future open house.